Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our second freshman caucus debate. My name is Ava Yap. I'm one of the BOE co-chairs along with Eric Khan, who is sadly not able to be here today, but I'm going to be covering for him. So this is our second day of debates because if you don't know, our freshman caucus has a total of 15 campaigns that are competing with each other, which is a very large amount, more than usual. But we are super glad that this many campaigns and freshman students are interested in improving our student government at STI and helping our students transition to this new school year. So today I am joined by two of our debate moderators, Calista Lee and Steffi Chen, and so they are going to be walking all of you through how this debate is going to be working, and then they're going to be asking you the questions. So I'm going to hand it off to them.
Hi, everyone. So as Ava said, I'm Steffi, and I'm joined with
Calista.
Yep, and we're gonna just give a little kind of brief introductions before we kind of start with the questions. So everyone in every ticket is going to have around 60 seconds to answer per question, and Calista will be timing. So when you see the clapping hand emoji, this means that you have around 10 seconds left, and you should probably kind of hurry up and end your kind of answer soon. We will also be accepting audience questions through the chat, so throughout the debate. So you can either private message Calista or me, or you will just kind of put the question there in the chat, and we will make sure that we'll ask the question to the tickets. I think other than that, we should be good, and also make sure, like, for the audience, to close your cameras or not have your cameras on, just not like kind of to prevent kind of distractions and like movement of the people. Okay. The first question.
Wait,
yeah.
Yeah, just one more thing. Raise your Zoom hand, which is like the button under the participants list, so we can call on you so you can answer the question. Yeah. Okay, Steffi, you could ask the first question.
Yep. So the first question is, please introduce your ticket in 60 seconds.
Okay, I'm going to butcher your names, and I apologize in advance. Alkovenko Zhang. Yes,
hello, everyone. My name is Alexi, and
my name is Unique Zhang.
And together we are running for presidents for Freshman Caucus. We have known each other since middle school, and we think that together with our policies and with our wonderful team behind us, we'll be able to make this school a better place. Speaking of making this school a better place, I want to focus on, in this introduction, a little bit on what we stand for in our campaign. Our three policies are compassion, community, and communication. We think that communication is important because it's important that we are constantly talking to the student body. It is important that we hear their ideas and we get to tell them exactly what we think back.
We also think that compassion is really key component because we need to understand where they're coming from. We need to understand where the complaints are coming from because after all, we are freshmen too, and we are also students. So it's really important that we understand their complaints and concerns, and that way we can truly interpret them and be able to use our actions and fulfill what they need.
And community is important to us because the transition between middle school and high school is a very, very tough transition, and we understand that. And we think it's important that people are able to make friends easier. It is important that people are able to connect better. And because that we want to create a community within the school, we want to create a community where everyone is comfortable to share their ideas, and we will be able to make this school a better place. Thank you.
Thank you. The next campaign, Tom Tan.
Hi, I'm Chloe Tom.
Hi, I'm Quan Lin, but I prefer Caitlin.
And our campaign is mostly based on communication. So we want to bridge the gap between freshmen and the rest of the Stuyvesant community, which can be really difficult being in a remote learning setting. And we want students to feel not only connected with their peers, but also with their teachers. The main three, I guess, goals we want to focus on are making sure that students are feeling informed, accepted, and that they are connected. So one of the ways that we would make sure that students are informed is by giving them weekly updates. They'd be very short because I understand that it takes a while to read very long emails and nobody really has that time. Also, we would make sure that students feel accepted by making it easier for them to talk to us about situations in which they might feel uncomfortable. And we also want them to feel connected through various events. And yeah.
Next, Deb Huang.
Hi everyone. So we are the Dev Huang Ticket, and what our campaign really is about is to serve the student body and to provide a more supportive environment to help the transition into high school. So the slogan for our campaign is striving for a more compassionate Stuyvesant. So as shown by the slogan, prioritizing the ideas of all Stuyvesant freshmen is really a staple and a really important part of our campaign. So our vision is at the end of the school year, a Stuyvesant freshman class will not just operate as a collection of students or teenagers, but more as a community. I'll pass it on to Harnish now.
Thank you, Julian. In such a tumultuous time period, we need strong leadership and guidance to motivate us to continue moving forward and creating progress. I believe that Julian and I are just the right leaders that the Stuyvesant student body require assistance from during such dark and distressing times. We plan on tackling these issues by utilizing our internal affair policies, community policies, and academic policies. We wish to not only persuade you all with our words, but with our actions from henceforth. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next ticket is going to be Bao Chen.
Hi, so I'm Rebecca Bao, and I'm representing the Erica and Rebecca ticket. Sadly, Erica isn't here today, but my wonderful campaign manager, Melody, is subbing in. So we all know that this year has been really tough, especially during this pandemic. And not only is freshmen's first year, but we are going through a lot of current events, such as the election and racial injustices happening in our society. And our campaign is built on the fundamentals of 3 pillars, which is first, self-representation, self-expression, and self-exploration. And we believe that this year it is not only important to build a strong connection between our friends and new freshman buddies, but as well it is also a time for us to develop our own personal growth, since this year we have the chance to be at home and remote, and we have the chance to reflect back on our actions in order to know what we have to move on in the future and be more aware about the current events that are happening, not only at Stuyvesant, but also in the world, since we are high school students and we are also moving on to a new phase in our life. So we believe that our 3 pillars are the most beneficial to you, because not only it's yourself representing yourself, but also it is you representing you, and we believe that you are important to us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Tang Ubaid.
Hello, I am William Tang. I'm running with Michelle Ubaid as co-presidents of the Freshman Caucus. So we'll get straight to the point. This year has been tough on everyone. Whether it's not being able to socialize, mountains of homework while only getting a few hours of sleep, or feeling frustrated at the lack of enforcement of many rules, such as the homework policy, we can all agree that this year is not the high school experience we expect.
This past year has been difficult in so many different ways, and while we can't bring everything back to normal, we'll focus on what we can fix with respect to remote instruction. Our ticket is based on definite action, listening to every voice, and establishing a strong presence and availability to the community, you.
Yes, we already have an outline and proposed policies, but we guarantee that we will adapt and add to it even while in office. Improvement is an ongoing, consistent effort, and we will stand by that idea by accepting and responding to feedback throughout the year. Thank you.
Next is Yang Liu.
Hi, I'm Ashley, co-president of the Yang and Liu ticket.
And I'm Sheldon Liu, co-president.
The main thing our ticket focuses on is community unity and health. Being in this rough situation where we can't really see people face to face has made it hard to build relationships with one another, and we want to help that by organizing events such as movie and game nights with opportunities to meet new people and see people face to face. And another thing that's important to us is unity, which is working with you, as our jobs is amplifying your voices and working with external clubs and caucuses to make changes in school-wide issues.
And the third pillar of our policy is health. So we want to ensure the physical health with the help of the faculty, but also the mental health, which we feel is a huge factor in being able to thrive efficiently at STI. So like other tickets may have said, there is a ton of homework that some of us may not be able to deal with. So we want to provide the resources for everyone to thrive mentally in order to be able to perform well at STI.
In addition, we want to create pathways or things students can do if they do have any conflicts regarding their mental health, whether that's homework issues or other issues regarding their health. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Huang Quan.
Hi, I'm Emma Kwan and my co-president is Ivy Pham. This year has been a very unique year and we understand that everyone is going through a lot emotionally and mentally. That's why one of our key pillars is health. We want to make sure that people can adjust to the workload, and we want our peers to feel more motivated by giving them something to look forward to every week. We understand how important it is to connect with others on a day-to-day basis. Ivy?
We want to provide accessibility to resources for mental health. We want students to get to know their teachers. We also want them to socialize with each other through game nights, movie nights, and we want you to, we feel that you're important and we want to serve you, and we sympathize with you, and we want to make Stuyvesant, the first year of Stuyvesant, a good experience for you. Emma?
Okay, thank you. And Ivy said basically the rest of it. And we know that through these hard times, the Freshman Caucus needs strong leaders who can help the student body. We look forward to working for the interests of the class of 24.
Last but not least, Paulsua Diaz.
Yeah, so Maya's not here right now, but what our platform is based on is the idea that, like, we are, because of COVID-19, it's extremely hard for everyone to meet each other. So a major thing that we're going to focus on is activities and opportunities to allow the students to bond, because I know for me and for everyone that is an extremely important thing. So we're going to be focused on doing things like movies and game nights. And another thing that we will focus on in relation to that is we will try to create study groups to allow to also better manage stress, but allow people to meet each other. And that's going to be connection and communication is a major thing that we're going to focus on, because we know how important it is for everyone. And another thing, like what I was saying about the study groups, is the idea of managing stress and time management, because from what I know and from what other people know is that it's very hard on our mental health. And yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I think everyone has gone now. So we'll move on to the second question. And the second question is, please describe your campaign in 3 words. And okay, we'll start off with Alkovenko Singh. I'm sorry, I keep butchering it.
Yeah, so we're also referred to as the A to Z ticket. So first of all, we have our 3 main pillars, which is communication, community, and compassion. So I'll start off with compassion first. It's, as I said before, it's really important that we understand the student government and the student body, and we understand what they want from us. We have to understand their concerns and their complaints. And that way we can truly understand, and that way we'll actually be able to carry out these actions and get to a scenario where everyone is at ease and where everyone feels appreciated and feels like their voices were heard.
Communication is very important to us because even though the actions and decisions of the freshman caucus might seem disconnected from the Stuyvesant life, it's important that there's this crucial connection that we form between them. Our goal is to effectively communicate to you out there and to help you understand information involving school life, our plans and goals, and what we already accomplished and are working on. And this is very important to us because communication is going to help us on a very, very wide spectrum of things.
And adding on to that, we also have a website that we regularly update, and that'll be a great way for us to communicate to the student body. And lastly, we also have community. So as I said before, community is also really important when it comes to understanding the student body, and that way both the student body will feel comfortable talking to us, and we'll feel comfortable reaching out to them if anything were to happen, or if we needed to reach anyone. Thank you.
Next is Bao Chen.
So 3 words that describe our campaign are just like our pillars: self-representation, self-expression, and self-exploration. So for self-representation, we believe that you deserve a platform for your voice to be heard. And so whether it is with our grade-wide extra credit competition or with our webinars, each and every single one of our policies involves you chiming in your voice so that you can be heard, and then we can also see that you can express yourself. And this also leads to our second fundamental pillar, which is self-expression. So this year has been tough, as we all know. However, with our extra credit policy and such, we can let you have a platform so you can effectively represent yourself, express your opinions on current issues, and such as climate change, racial justice, so that you can be more aware in the world. And our final pillar is self-exploration, because you are not an elementary school student, and we are moving into a new phase in our lives, and you need to know more about your career, your future, and what you pursue as your passion. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Dev Huang.
All right, so the 3 words that I chose to describe our campaign are support, compassion, and approachableness. These aren't our pillars, but this is more about who we are as a campaign, what we do as a campaign. While our pillars and policies are important, when describing our campaign, I would choose these 3 words as character is what really matters. Character is how we make our decisions, what our actions are when we are in office. So in such a crisis, in such a time, we need strong leaders, and these 3 words really describe us. So support, compassion, approachableness. Why support? Because when we are in office, we will work to provide a very supportive environment for the freshman and student body. Why compassion and approachableness? This is really who we are as people. Me and Harnish are very approachable. This is how we represent more people, how we reach out to more people. And this is very important, especially in these times of COVID. Just reaching out more people and knowing how to advocate and represent them is very important to our campaign. And these are the 3 words that really just describe our campaign. Harnish, do you have anything else to add? Or
I would just like to add on that for the approachability-ness of our campaign, we will work to maintain communication between our caucus and our student body, since it's vital for the 2 groups to relay information off one another with the common goal of improving their experiences at STI. And due to this rapid transition, we are planning on using our policies, which we will get onto later, to transmit information from one group to another. Thank you.
Next is Poswa Diaz.
Yeah, so the 3 words that we chose for our campaign would first be connection. We want the student body to feel connected. We want them to feel connected to each other, and we want them to meet each other and make friends and do all these things. And we also want them to feel connected to us as people, and to be able to feel free to input their ideas. The next word would be time management. we want to be able to help people manage their time, manage their workloads, and in turn raise their mental health and lower their stress levels. That's another thing we're focusing on. And the last thing would be representation. And this is like a lot what a lot of people have said, but we want people to feel represented by us, and we are doing this for you. We are and we want to represent everyone in what we do.
Okay, thank you. Next, Yang Liu.
Okay, so we have three policies that we mainly want to get across, and the three pillars are cooperation, community, and transparency. So for cooperation, we want to work together with both the faculty and community in order to implement change in our policies and make sure that everyone's on the same page. We also want to work with the student union in order to cooperate with them and make better policies that everyone would be happy with. Our second pillar is community, because we want to listen to the community and we want to work with you, even if you feel that may be hard given our current state. Because it's hard to communicate and socialize, we want to be able to listen to you better. So we'll create an inbox where people can field questions or changes about what's coming up or what new policies we might introduce.
Another thing that's really important is our transparency and communication. We know how important it is to be clear about what we're doing to help and resolve your issues, and we'll support this with bi-weekly emails with an easy and clear space to find all the information about what's going on in the school year. And sometimes personally, I find myself with emails flooding like my inbox. In finding what's relevant to us.
So the next ticket would be Tom Tan.
We would like to describe our campaign in 3 words, which are informative, inclusive, and connected. We want freshmen to feel informed about all their resources and opportunities this year, which could really help them with their transition into high school, because like study guides like provided by Arista would be especially helpful for anyone struggling with classes. We'd also like to promote inclusivity in our freshman year, because we want people to feel accepted regardless of their race, gender, or sexuality. We want it to be a comfortable, positive, and welcome learning environment, and we propose establishing something like a form where they can submit any issues that they may be having with the school. Finally, we want to make sure that connectivity is a big thing, because we want people to make friends and communicate with their teachers. Talking to their teachers can be really difficult, and we want to make it less intimidating so they know that talking to their teachers is okay.
Thank you. Huang Quan.
The 3 words that describe our campaign are motivation, health, and community. For health, we want to promote mental health and physical health. For mental health, we'll be providing resources students can access so they know who to contact when they're going through rough times, and we'll be implementing that by making teachers make Flipgrids about themselves and including faculty relate like Emma.
Hi, so 2 of our other words that would describe our ticket would be community and motivation. Community is very important to any school, so we want to make sure that we're able to communicate with everyone to make sure that we can create policies that will be beneficial for everyone. Ivy and I understand how hard it is to deal with procrastination, which is why motivation is one of our keywords, and we want to help people feel more motivated during the week so that they can get all their work done.
All right. So next is Tang Ubaid.
Thank you. So our three pillars are inclusivity, initiative, and communication. Although I would have to add that another one would be openness, because we're open to all suggestions. So a lot of thought went into the values we want to prioritize, and these are the ones we're confident best represent what we want to achieve in office. So let me talk about inclusivity. We're open to all voices of the STI community, especially concerns unique to you. We acknowledge that this won't be easy, especially since we'll be taking in conflicts and concerns in addition to suggestions and requests, but it is necessary for us to address it all. We don't pick and choose which voices we want to hear. We hear everyone.
Right, and just highlighting initiative. Now, you might have tuned out as soon as I said initiative, since it seems to be a common theme in every ticket. Let's not let that take away from how important this value really is. Initiative isn't all, you want something done, I get it done, however it gets done. We've defined it as understanding our limitations as a caucus and treating the issues as such, and referring you to the best course of action for your particular issue.
Yes, and because we understand these limitations, we will once again do what will best help you. If we have to choose between carrying out a half-baked resolution or getting you in contact with someone who knows more, we'll choose the latter. This ties into our last pillar, communication. We've all hit mark all as read on our emails just because there's so many of them. And that's why we would use platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Thank you.
Okay, for our next question. Actually, before I say the next question, I just want to remind everyone to please keep within the time frame so we could end the debate at a reasonable time. So the third question is, there are a lot of promising goals and policies, but how will you keep in touch with the student body on what they think? How is your ticket best suited to be a liaison between the student union and the student body as the school heads into an unprecedented school year? Let's see. Deb Huang, you may go first. Deb Huang.
Yeah, thank you.
6 seconds.
Thank you, Calista. So in such an unprecedented time, we've all had to make these drastic changes on how do we socialize and interact with our fellow classmates. So we bridge the gap between the student body with our policies, such as frequent emails and having an open inbox to make sure we act in correspondence with the student's body. So this makes the student union and the administration really accessible as they're available with the click of a button. We want to spread this information effectively, so we will do this by using multiple platforms and having a very good social media presence. I'll pass it on to Harnish.
Thank you, Julian. Also, we will create engaging posts that spread our message better. In addition to this, we plan on creating our own content instead of relying on others to derive content from. We plan on expanding on ideas such as a collaborative Spotify account, in addition to playlists specific to the student union, to always student body engaged. In addition to this, we have other our own YouTube channel to create gaming tournaments for games such as Among Us. This will always make it so every last of information is easily accessible and in a format on our website. We wish to take
I'm sorry to interrupt, but did he freeze for everyone else? Okay.
Yes, he did.
Okay. So kind of like, okay. Let's make sure that the kind of your co-ticket or your president can like message him, be like, hey, you're frozen, and he can like rejoin the Zoom for connection issues. But we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to Tom Tam.
As we said before, we really want to make sure that students feel that they are able to talk to us. So whether this be through emails or social media. We're always open for a chat. We were thinking to have summarized versions of each week's announcements. I know that the school is actually emailing different sources to everybody, but it's kind of hard to read through all of that, so we'd probably give like a summarized version of it. We would also use Google Forms to collect input from any of the students about our policies and what we could do better. And we would mainly try to have a good social media presence so that students feel they are informed about what's going on in the school and they are connected to the student government.
Okay, thank you. Tang Ubaid.
Thank you. So we have multiple forms of communication through social media, such as Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and I really want to talk about Discord. Many people don't use this because it's unprofessional, but we would like to communicate, whether professionally or not, to your concerns, which is why we would be active on multiple platforms, as well as our email if you don't have any platforms.
And I would also like to highlight that we already have a form that you can fill out and you can let us know your own concerns and issues and experiences in the school year so far. And we plan on keeping that form open because we think that it's a really efficient way to communicate with the student body. We promote it on every platform we have, as William highlighted above, and we do plan on using Discord more to communicate with the STI community because a lot of us have Discord and there is a huge server, and it's just one of those platforms that no one has seemed to professionally use yet. So we want to take advantage of that to help reach students the best. And we also have a website where you can send a message directly via the website. You don't have to go to any other platform. So that's how I think we will connect to the student body best.
Next is Yang Liu.
So we feel that communication is clear here since we need to be able to clarify what we're doing to make everyone's experience better. And as other tickets said, we will also communicate on every platform possible in order to get our message across and make sure our actions are clear.
Something more personal to our ticket is we will try to create polls or something that's a little easier than email writing or filling out forms, because sometimes they can be a little tedious and veer students away from voicing their opinions, which is the opposite of what we want. And we know it's key to have them share their opinions, as that's what we're aiming to complete.
Okay. Next is Bao Chen.
Okay, so I think that this question is answering basically our whole campaign. So each and every single one of our policies, I know many candidates, many campaigns all have this form thing. We also do too. However, we are different because each and every single one of our policies are you, and we are interacting every single of our policies with the student body, such as topic voting for extra credit competitions, voting for the people who will be in our webinars, also voting for the movies. Each and every single one of our policies are directed so that you can be represented more. And also with our extra credit policy, we are also deciding to partner with the student union so that they can also help judge these competitions. So I think that our ticket is special because each and every single one of our policies it's not just about the form. It's that we really truly want your opinion, and we really truly want you to be part of this freshman body, and we want you to be involved and your voice to be heard because your voice matters. Thank you.
Okay, next is Poloska Diaz.
Yeah, so obviously we plan to have a huge social media presence on Instagram, Facebook, all the things. But another idea that we have is to make people feel more comfortable, writing emails and reaching out to other people. We plan to make a pen pal program between different people at Stuyvesant, because being isolated caused, a lot of people to feel uncomfortable to reach out to others, and feeling free to reach out to a specific person that they're assigned to and feeling comfortable with that is very important, and that could also cause them to feel more comfortable to reaching out to us and reaching out to other people. And another idea how we plan to use our social media presence is not only just to communicate with people, is also to make them feel better with themselves. So we plan to do kind of motivational, empowering things, and to help people, feel comfortable posting about their emotions and how they're feeling to raise their self-confidence.
Okay.
Next is Huang Quan. So our campaign is planning to give out Google Forms to voice the opinions of the students, because we know that reading emails or typing things out is like tedious, and we want to have open social media presence to encourage students to voice themselves to us, since it is a more comfortable and informal space. Thank you.
Okay, next, oh, sorry, you guys just went. Okay, that leaves Ogvenko Singh. Sorry, I keep pronouncing it wrong.
Right, so first off, we're gonna send bi-weekly emails, so that way you, the student, gets to stay informed with what's happening with the caucus and what's happening in the daily life that they should be informed about in in their year as a freshman. And within that email, we'll also send a suggestion form, a little question or a poll that will help brighten their day and let us know more about them. And I just really wanted to point on the strong foundation we have on social media through Instagram or Facebook. We specifically made all of our posts unique, and we had to personally do them ourselves. So I just really wanted to highlight that, so that way it really catches the eye and really shows the work that we put in to communicate with the student body.
Some other things that we do want to do to communicate better with the students is private caucus meetings. Basically, we will allow the students to plan the caucus meetings with us very privately. They'll be able to answer any specific question that they have. They'll be able to ask us anything, so that we'll be able to respond better and tell them about about what we're doing. And also, we want to open our freshman caucus meetings to everybody, and this is like transparency. We want everybody to see exactly what's going on with us, exactly what plans we have, exactly what we're trying to accomplish, exactly what we have already accomplished. So basically, we'll allow people to join our meetings, and they'll be able to see what's going on. Thank you.
Okay, so before we ask the next question, I just also want to remind the audience members that you're free to kind of send Calista and I some questions you want to ask to specific tickets or just everyone in general. So next question is, what previous experience do you have? And again, please make sure that you keep in the time frame of 60 seconds. Does anyone want to start? Yes. Tom Tan.
Okay, so for me, my old school actually did not have a student body representative, and it really put a strain on a lot of the students because they felt they didn't really have anyone representing them, or they didn't really have a voice in like what was going on in the school. And I think that it's really important that we as freshman caucus are able to carry out what the student body feels they need. And for me, I have not a lot of experience with the student government because of that, but I have had a lot of experience doing collaborative work in different programs. I did one program at the NYU Tangent of Engineering, and I really enjoy working with other people, and I really want to be able to work with the freshmen so that we can solve a lot of their problems and just make their life at STAT easier. Caitlin?
So I also don't have much experience with student government, but I really like working with people, and I used to tutor kids. So I think that like these leadership qualities would make me qualified. Thank you.
Thank you, Alkavenko Zhang.
So Unique and I have known each other for the whole entire of our middle school career, and throughout this entire time, we've been doing a lot of leadership experience.
So one example is that we both were in the student government program and in our 8th grade career called Class 800, where we had to form assemblies, reach out to other people outside of the school, and we had to contact people and make sure that people attended. And we also had to make sure that these assemblies were interesting so that people would genuinely be interested.
Also, we've done other extracurriculars that have helped us learn leadership experience. This includes, I was a vice president of the Thespian Society, Unique was a captain in the running team, and we were both, again, in the student government. And these all helped give us valuable leadership skills like communication skills and any other skills that we need, for example, public speaking. And this all will help us to become a better caucus. And also, we have another experience that we have is we have contacted other people we have contacted people from higher grades, and this allows it, this gives us a little experience because we know better how to enforce our policies, and we also have a better idea of how the school works, so then we can implement that into if we become caucus.
One last thing I'd like to mention is that we also contacted people who we knew could help us. So for example, we contacted the previous freshman caucus president, Sadvik, and we asked him for advice. And it's really important that we knew how to contact people outside of whom we know. Thank you.
Next is Dev Huang.
Wait. So my experience in leadership isn't more limited, but I've done extracurricular activities and worked many teams through middle school, such as I've been on a baseball team, I've done debate and math team throughout middle school, and working with people with something that's really important, such as freshman caucus, because you have to reach as many people in your grade as possible. And now I'll pass it on to Aharnish, who has a lot of leadership experience.
Yeah, and as Julian said, I have a lot of leadership experience throughout my academic career, such as being the NJHS president in middle school, which stands for the National Junior Honor Society, which is the largest junior honor society for kids that age. In addition to being in many extracurriculars throughout my life, I've been in the lead violinist and violist of many ensembles, which has also given me that expertise in leading other people. And in addition to that, I've been in student government in in elementary school, as well as I was the president of my elementary school. Thank you.
Poloska Diaz.
So for Maya, she was sorry. So I'm trying to find those. Okay, so she was part of a group that worked in communications with the school and planned events. And personally, I don't have any student government experience, but what I have done is I was an assistant teacher at the Hebrew school at my temple, and I think what this gave both me and Maya is the experience with being able to communicate with people and communicate what needs to be done, and also, you know, take control of situations, you know, which I think is also an important thing for the student caucus.
Next is Yang Liu.
In Sheldon, we both held leadership positions in our elementary and middle school, which allowed us to both see the most effective way of communicating and creating change. And Sheldon?
So I was the captain of my middle school tennis team, And in middle school, me and Ashley co-led a newspaper project in one of our classes, which went successfully. So that's why we ran together again to try and replicate our success, because we knew we were compatible in leading together.
In addition, I also am part of a youth food leadership program where you work toward creating food equity throughout the city, and it's allowed me to really learn the skills that I need to make changes towards talking to adults or other people or other schools in general, and just creating change where it needs to be made.
Okay. Tang Ubaid.
Thank you. So I was in my previous school, Hunters, term council as a class representative. I was responsible for planning and hosting events such as dances, fundraisers, and assemblies. And inside, I'm on the congressional debate team and a member of the literary department of the math and computer science publication. So outside of school, I've interned at Councilman Peter Cruz's office and learned many important political skills that I will use to help make your freshman year better. In addition, I am a director of media outreach and a senior advisor at youth climate organization Kids Fight Climate Change, where we're dedicated to spreading awareness about the effects of climate change.
Yes, and in my middle school, which was also Hunter College High School, I tried my best to participate in as many clubs as possible and reach out to the club leaders and those who organize different events to get a sense of managing techniques. And I feel like it's almost as if I interned, because I truly learned a lot about organization and managing a team. And I looked into applying to be an actual member of the student government, although I wasn't eligible at the time because I was transferring to Stuyvesant. Currently with William, I am a co-president of the club, the Be a Leader Association, which we founded on STY activities. And I'm also on extemporaneous speech, which is worth mentioning because I'm also learning there how to be assertive and how to communicate my points effectively and efficiently.
Thank you. Lastly, but not least, Bao Chen.
So Erica, the other co-president, and I went to the same middle school, and for the National Junior Honor Society, she was the secretary. She is a very hardworking and dedicated individual, and she will serve you very well.
In addition, at my middle school, at N+M, I've been on the student government, and also I did debate for 3 years straight for all my middle school grades, and this year I'm doing public forum debate, continuing my passions. I'm also in this year's math team and also in my middle school's math team for 2 years, and these two skills has not only taught me how to interact with different people, but especially debate has also taught me how to stand from different viewpoints and understand. And so that is why our campaign, we stand with you, because we understand what is going on. From debate and our experiences, we know that with leadership positions, we can stand from people's different viewpoints and solve the problem directly so that we are making the best benefit for you and that you can benefit the most in this freshman year. Thank
you. Okay. I'm not sure. I'm keeping track, but I'm not sure. But did Huang Quan go yet?
Oh, sorry, we haven't gone yet. Sorry, I think I forgot to put my hand. I went to Lab Middle School also, just like Sheldon and Ashley, and we had multiple newspapers, and I was also one of the leaders of one of them. I don't think Ivy doesn't have that Ivy doesn't have that much experience, but we're both we care about what other people think, and we want to make sure that we can communicate with others.
I was on my school's basketball team, so I know how it's like to work together as a team, and I'll treat the student body as a team and work together to help STY become a better school. Thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else who has not gone? Because I noticed that some people didn't raise their hand. Okay. So the next question, so there was a 1/3 voter turnout in last year's freshman caucus election. How do your policy resolve that? How will you address voter apathy and possible disinterest in the caucus by portions of the student body, especially during these times we don't meet face to face? Starting with Tom Tan.
I'm part of a project called My Vote, and it basically is working to reach out to voters and get them informed. And I found that the main reason people aren't voting is because they don't know what a lot of their candidates stand for. And so we would work to make sure that voters are informed and that they know where and when they can vote. I've talked to several people and they didn't even know when the voting day was. So I think it's really important to stress these issues. Caitlin?
Yeah, I think that a lot of people don't vote because they think that student government won't affect them, but our goal is to actually make a difference and help them improve their freshman experience.
Okay, thank you, Deb Huang.
So when me and Harness chose our campaign managers, we chose them for a reason. Our campaign managers are very friendly and sociable people, and our campaign has personal connections with many members of the Stuyvesant community. We do our part in trying to stop voter apathy by reaching as many people as possible and creating a more personal connection with them about freshman caucus campaigns. We do this by DMs, personal emails. These personal connections are important because they aren't just generic spam emails. They show that we actually care about reaching out to more people. Another way we are actually helping to stop voter apathy is just by our campaign. Our campaign, we spent a lot of effort into spending effort into our Instagram pages and making sure our posts are engaging and look good with our campaign. And if we get to inform people about our policies and about the election, they will know more about the election. But the reason why, so I'm going to go back into what I said about personal connections. Knowing a lot of people is very important because you represent them and you can advocate for more people. So this is what we strive for when making connections with our classmates, to really educate them on what our freshman caucus is doing and what we will do if we are elected. Thank you.
Next is Tang. Goodbye.
Thank you. So instead of being super professional, talk to people casually, like your friends, because we're all freshmen here and we're all equally friends. And I found that direct messaging and texting are much more effective than just having a Facebook page, because a Facebook page is when people actually interact with your Facebook. But if you're reaching out to others, then that is more effective in providing a response, because we actually care about your opinion and what you think. I'll pass it over to Shaw now.
Yes, and as aforementioned in a previous question, we have multiple platforms, and we actually put a special effort into making things aesthetically pleasing and straightforward, because that does matter a lot in catching voter attention. Our first two Instagram posts have caught some attention because we spent so much time making it look nice. And we also want to include important voting days and like the voting day and information into our posts, because once again, many people don't seem to check their mail as attentively as they check social media and maybe other platforms. So we want voters to be informed of that.
Thank you, Alcobenco Zhang.
So first, I just wanted to start off with the fact that we have social media platforms, and if we can't reach out to them, to the student body throughout social media, we can always have emails. But we won't be telling them necessarily about our campaign itself. We want to educate them about the campaigns in general, because there is a document that is accessible to all of them with all of our information on it. And we want to educate them and tell them to vote, and not just for us, but for who they think is truly gonna make a difference, honestly. And we want to show that we actually care. And through our social media platforms, they can personally DM us, and me and my co-president and our campaign managers will be able to respond to them immediately. And especially if they have questions for the campaign, or why we're running, or what we're doing, I think it's really important that they contact us, so that way we get to really show that we're caring.
We also want to be as approachable as possible, so anybody could tell us, as Unique said, anything. And we have spent a lot of time putting work into our social media, especially the website. Our website is basically a central point where people can come in, they can chat with us, they can see all our resources, and then all these resources they can use to make a better informed decision about who they should vote for Freshman Caucus. Thank you.
Next, Bao Chen.
Yeah, so I first want to start off by saying, go vote on November 16th because your voice matters, and to us, we care about your voice. And we want you to know that if you're watching this debate right now, to go and vote for and be informed on what is going on. So we want to say that we have always private messaged during this campaign to inform people on not only our policies, but also on why their voice matters. And on our website, as well as our captions whenever we post them, you would always see your vote matters, because we truly believe that your voice can change what is going on right now. In addition, all of our policies, it's not just about Google Forms, it's not just about social media, it's also about our policies. And when we are elected, our policies will make you stay up to date and make you throughout this whole year for you to be represented, because you matter to us and we cannot enforce this enough. Thank you.
Okay, Pulaska Diaz.
Yeah, so first of all, what we're gonna make sure to do is to message people about our campaign, what we stand for, and reminding people of the deadline, and we'll be sure to do that on our social media platforms as well. But the other thing is that, like, the fact is that not every person will vote, and that's inevitable. So the other thing that we'll try to do is during if we became co-presidents, we'll make sure to create policies that people are happy with and feel represented in. And so even if they didn't vote for us, or even if they didn't know to vote for us, they will still be happy with us as our co-presidents and won't feel hostile or apathetic towards us.
Next is Yang Liu.
So in these times, we feel that the policies we introduced are critical to the voters' turnout and being clear about our differences and what we change. Because in this time, change is more than necessary, and we feel that people know that, since they want to see leaders who are compatible and who are able to lead the school during these difficult times. This is also shown by the voter turnout for this recent election, since American voters had the highest voter turnout yet in American elections, which shows that people are worried about the current state and they want to see leaders who can actually lead.
I'm adding on that educating people and making things very accessible is another thing that we're really interested in doing, because a lot of people don't really see the differences between 5 different Instagram groups following them with just different names. People don't really see the different policies, which we're going to work on showing the clear differences between ourselves. And just making things accessible. Sometimes people want to vote, but they don't really want to go through all the trouble to find the steps how to. And we'll work toward educating people rather than promoting through hefty paragraphs. We feel that quality is much more important than quantity in directing people how and where and how to make their decision about voting.
Thank you. Up next, Huang.
Hi, we plan to engage voters by creating policies that will matter to our peers and will make their lives a little bit easier. Our ticket, we want our peers to know how our ticket will help them, and we plan on implementing policies that actually mean something to our peers, and we want to help them make their lives easier. An example of a policy that we've been thinking of is one that sets a minimum amount of time per question on the test, since we have had some friends come to us saying that they don't get enough time to finish their test. Ivy, do you have anything to add?
To add on, I want to emphasize that if we become co-presidents, we'll be serving you no matter who you vote for. We'll be also making it easier to vote. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think that was everyone. If anyone has not spoken, please raise your hand. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the fourth question, well, yeah, okay. The fourth question is going to be the last one, and it's going to be just your closing statements. You'll have 60 seconds again. Tang Ubai, you may go first.
In a complex environment, we want to make this simple. Everyone's voice counts, and as such, if we were elected, we would turn all of your good ideas into policies, including those of other tickets, because everyone here deserves to leave their mark.
Yes, that's correct. If we were elected, we would ensure that the end of someone else's campaign wouldn't mean the end of their impact. We need to work as a team right now, and we believe that we're well equipped to foster this important need in our community. Please vote and feel free to reach out to us about anything at all. We will help you as best as we are able to, in the same way that we would if we were elected. Thank you.
Next is Dev Huang.
Thank you. The main reason why we ran for caucus is because of the sheer toll that this pandemic has placed on all of us. I've seen my friends stay up and stress nearly every day since school has begun, and I've experienced that same amount of anxiety that comes from the immense burden that is homework and just our workload. There are many issues that impact our freshman year, and we wish to prepare ourselves for the future and also make sure that we're ready for this year. We would like to add on as our closing statement that Julian and I have worked on this campaign for a lot of time, and our constant work ethic in our partnership just goes to show how we are both leaders and the perfect candidates for this election. We bring forth a myriad of effective and feasible policies that will greatly impact the Stuyvesant community while also being plausible. After all, we wish to make STI a more compassionate environment during such a rough year. Due to this, we want you to vote for Dev Huang on the 16th. Thank you so much for attending the debate today, and thank you to all the other campaigns who joined along.
Tom Tam.
I just really wanted to stress how important it is that all of the freshmen vote for whoever think they would best fit the freshman caucus president position. And I wanted to say that we really believe in making sure everyone at STI feels comfortable and that they can reach out to us whenever they want. Just shoot us an email or DM us on social media, and we're always free to talk. Yeah.
Velasco Diaz.
So as my closing statement, I just want to stress that we are doing this to make the freshman class happy, and we are doing this to make you feel more connected to each other, to help you make you feel less stressed and overall make you feel better about yourself and more happy. And that is our goal now, and that will be our goal through our candidacy if you elect us. And always, feel free to tell us your input, because we are doing this for you, and your input will help make things better for you and better for the freshman class as a whole.
Thank you. Anyone want to go next? Yang Liu.
We just want to remind everyone that our focus is making direct change on the problems and issues that you face, and we're just like you. We go through the same stressful tests, piles of homework, and we know and see the importance of remedying the problems that we all face.
And finally, we also want to express our heartfelt gratitude to everyone who showed up to this meeting and the previous one, as it shows how you want to educate yourself on everyone's platform and policies. And even though you may not be running, you're helping to make change happen.
Thank you so much, and we
Thank you
hope you
for
vote on November 16th.
Thank you. Anyone that wants to go next? Hong Kwan.
Hi, for our closing statement, we just want to say that we're running to make the life of the student of our freshman class easier, and we always are open to anyone's input and opinions on our Instagram or through email. And we love to talk to you and hear your opinions. Thank you.
Olkavenko Zhang.
Thank you. So hopefully throughout this debate, we were able to show you why it's important to vote and why we think that we're the best ticket for you to vote for. Well, of course, we're going through all this together. We're going through a terrible time, and we can get through this together with well-explained policies, with research and preparation, and with listening to every single one of your issues and ideas. We will make the student experience better. I will promise you that. We will try our best to listen to you. We'll try our best to communicate exactly what we're doing. And with that, I think that you should vote for us. But in general, you should be voting for who you think you would be.
Remember that the Freshman Caucus, the reason that all of us are running is because we want to help the freshmen and we want to help the student body. So make sure your voice gets heard on November 16th, and make sure to vote. So thank you, and vote for the A to Z ticket.
Is there anyone else who has not gone? Yep, Bao Chen.
So in these unusual times, ultimately, you need to vote for someone who stands with you, understands you, and gives you a chance to be yourself, gives you a platform so that you can represent yourself and express yourself whatever you want to. And we maintain your self-representation, not just with Google Forms, not just with social media, but also throughout the whole year, so that you and your voice can be heard throughout the year with our policies as well. And with our experience, we can stand from different viewpoints and understand you so that we can benefit you better in the most effective and in the most efficient way. So we won't waste your time, and we will make this unusual year the best experience that you can get. And I would just like to end with saying, we want you to zoom through the year with us and vote for Erica and Rebecca on 2020 on November 16th, because we matter. And we believe that you.
Okay, thank you so much. Now we will be moving on to audience-based questions. Audience, you could message me or Steffi with your questions now, and then we'll ask them to the tickets. But before, we have actually collected a few audience questions. So I'll start with the first one. This is for Tang Ubaid, and it asks, how will you really prioritize the freshman caucus if you are in so many other clubs along with academic work? 60 seconds.
Absolutely. So these other extracurriculars actually help us manage our time better, so we can put our focus on you. We participate in multiple extracurriculars so that we can improve ourselves to make ourselves qualified to serve you. Shall I want to add on?
Yeah. I know it sounds a little counterintuitive, but by being in a number of different clubs, we have learned to manage our time better. So even though we have other extracurriculars, we usually have quite a bit of free time after we're done with all our work. So I can only improve even if we're not. So.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for Bao Chen. How do you plan on getting Elon Musk and other huge influential people to give talks, especially on a monthly basis?
Okay, so I think that especially we are in a remote world right now. Nothing is impossible. And we will definitely tell these influential people to come visit us, because Stuyvesant is important, and Stuyvesant is a great diverse school where people can explore their career path, especially when they are young. So convincing these people to just spend an hour to talk with Stuyvesant students, to get these students to be more prepared for their future, so that, because children are our future, and when we grow up, we can also help maintain this motivation to not only know who we are, but also help the society, help our community with different careers such as entrepreneurship or business or authors, etc. I think that it is really important for us to know and for you to know what your career path is, what your passion is. And I think especially in this remote world, influential people won't be a problem to give a lecture or give webinars to the Stuyvesant community. Thank you.
For Dev Huang, how is your early college connections program different from the alumni mentoring program or other kind of programs that are offered by the school?
Well, to begin with, our program, well, I'll give an introduction to it. We had the idea of bringing over Stuyvesant alumni in addition to more influential figures similar to Rebecca's campaign in order to get people more adjusted with Stuyvesant, the idea of college, because as we are freshmen, we need to understand that connection of constantly improving in order to get into those colleges, because a lot of Stuyvesant students have that goal of getting into Ivy League colleges, and we want to create that baseline for students early on. And we plan on doing this by hosting Zoom meetings, but in addition to that, we want to expand on it by hosting meetings with SAT tutoring, perhaps from juniors or seniors. And this is just a beginner level of getting students to understand and not just completely preparing them. Thank you. Julian, do you have anything to add on?
No, I think you covered it all.
Oh, all right.
Okay, the next question is for Hawaska Diaz, and asks, how will you make sure students know what you stand for or know your policies if you have not released them yet?
Well, first of all, we're actually planning to do that soon. I think Maya is drafting a post right now, so that should be available to you soon. I think I can speak for all of us when I say that we're very overcrowded with work, and it's very hard to find time to do things, but we'll definitely be sure to release more material soon, and you can look out for that.
The next question is for Dev Huang. How does your competitions on your policy differ from those of other candidates?
I can answer this question. So the way it's actually true that these policies are shared by many campaign about how we can really bring entertainment into the students' lives. But this is more about building Stuyvesant together as a community, and we have many creative ways that we have expanded on in our policies doc. So one way is how movie nights are decided by the Stuyvesant student body. So this is open to all students of all grades in order to provide a larger audience and more inclusivity. And we also have more in addition to the events that set us apart, such as having a Spotify account with weekly editions of songs and setting up events such as Cultural Food Day and cosplay conventions within the grades. So we have not only more creative ideas with this, but we're also going to be working together with more people to support our pillars with this policy, such as advocacy and making sure that we can include as much people as we can.
And adding on to what Julian said, the main factor that puts us ahead of other campaigns.
Your 60 seconds is up.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Okay, the next question is for Alkavenko Zhang. How will you make sure that teachers will be incentivized to attend your teacher relations events, and do you think that these events are respectful of teachers' time?
Yes, actually, as of right now, we're actually asking our teachers for feedback, actually, if they would be available, if they would be willing to spare 1 hour of their weekend to just, you know, contact other teachers, to interact with their students maybe. And we also have a plan for our teacher-student relation events, which Alexia can explain right now.
Well, why we really think that teachers would want to do this is because it's important for them to build this relationship with their students, because this relationship with their students would help them be more comfortable in the classroom. So the students will be able to share more answers. The students will be able to participate more in class. And this will make the class experience for the students so much better. And we plan to do this by contacting the teachers regularly. And so basically, we just want the students to feel comfortable. And so when we know that the teachers are available, we'll be able to send out an email to the rest of the students. And then the students will be able to see if they're available for that time. And then we'll be able to do the teacher event. Thank you.
I just wanted to mention that this will help with the homework policy, because that way they'll be more comfortable, and that way they'll be able to reach out to their teachers if they ever need help with homework, and they won't have that problem.
60 seconds. Okay, there you go. Thank you. This is also for your ticket. How would you create more diversity?
So we do plan on contacting other people as well, and we also do plan on contacting people outside of the organization as well. So that way we can have more diversity when it comes to people, and diversity when it comes to meeting new people. And we also plan to have events with different speakers, for example, and that way we can really teach, and it's like the same skills that we use to create assemblies, we can still teach and diversify the students through that sense.
And these events will also bring everybody together. So we'll be able to create this one big community where all the diverse groups of people will be in this community, where we'll be able to do much better as a freshman caucus. Thank you.
And then one general question: what are your biggest weaknesses, and how do you plan on improving? Everyone will have 30 seconds for this, as we will be wrapping it up. So you can raise your hand. Tom Tam.
I think that one of our biggest weaknesses is definitely our lack of experience in the student government, but we would really try to focus on working on this by reaching out to other caucuses, and we would definitely contact the past freshman caucus presidents to see what their thoughts on what needs to be changed are, and like how we can handle certain situations.
Thank you, Alkavenko Zhang.
So first of all, we're freshmen and we're in a new environment in a new school. So we're very inexperienced when it comes to STI, but not necessarily in leadership positions and leadership roles. So what we can do is actually contact people who have this experience, like upperclassmen at previous caucuses. And we also know that as freshmen, we don't have as much power, because we don't understand the things in the problems in STI as much as the previous caucuses have. So with that, we'll just contact more people, and we'll make sure to have realistic and doable events and policies that we know we can enforce as freshmen. Thank you.
Yang Liu.
I definitely think one of my weaknesses is perfectionism, and I think sometimes I'm a little focused too much on every small detail, but in my efforts to remedy this, my work with my co-president has really allowed me to kind of look at a bigger view rather than every small little thing, which is really helpful in making bigger changes and working towards certain things.
And we're also both unclear about how some things work regularly in the school, since we're freshmen, and some of us are not doing blended learning. And even though I'm doing blended learning, like, it's hard to understand how some procedures work. So that's one of the main flaws that I think a lot of these tickets have, since we all don't really know how things work. But we're going to try and communicate with higher caucuses to see how things usually work.
Thank you, Zeph Huang.
I think one of my weaknesses, or one of the weaknesses of the team, is just our schedules are really busy. This is a probably something that happens with a lot of freshmen, as that it's really hard to manage your time. How we counter this is we just put a lot of passion and effort into this campaign. We've worked so much time. We've like treated this as its own extracurricular, as its own, and we counter this by not only learning how to manage our time better, but just working really hard on this campaign.
Thank you. Huang Quan.
I would say that our greatest weakness would be our lack of experience at like a huge school like this. Ivy and I both went to not decently sized schools, but we've never done something to the extreme like this. And we also don't have that much experience at STI being freshmen and with our current situation. But we plan on rectifying this by talking to some of the upperclassmen, which we've been doing, like our big sibs, and yeah.
Thank you. Palaska Diaz.
So I can say that I can say, at least for me, and I think for Maya as well, is our biggest weakness is, time management. I think we're all very busy in our day with clubs and, homework and all those things. And I think how we would plan to rectify this is just being prepared and preparing all our resources. So we're able to implement things, and we're not, and this is a first priority for us, and will be.
Tang Rubai.
Right, so I'd say that Will and I are both pretty well-rounded, and we actually complement each other really well. I'm more specialized in humanities, and he's more specialized in STEM. One weakness I think we have is we're both in fully remote learning, so we'd have to do everything entirely online, and we wouldn't be able to meet as many people face-to-face as some other candidates may be able to. And B, we are we are kind of perfectionists. We want every detail to be perfect and just right, and yes, that can delay things a little bit. But I think that's also the price we pay for comprehensive answers and ways to propose solutions to things in the best way possible.
Yeah, just adding on to, wait, I don't think we have time. Sorry.
Sorry, your time's up. Anyone who has not spoken? About 10.
So I think our weakness is not only about perfectionist, but also I think that we don't have enough reach on social media, especially we don't know a lot of people on social media. So when we friend them, we want to make sure, but we only have 120 so friends on our social medias, and we really want to expand that reach. So our only weakness is that we don't have many friends in order for us to spread our policies and awareness.
Anyone else? Okay, I think everyone went then. So with that concludes the 2020 Freshman Caucus Debate Part 2. I'm going to hand it over back to Ava now.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you all for coming. As Calista was just saying, big thanks to Calista and Steffi for doing a great job moderating this debate. Thank you for all of our campaigns for coming and telling us about their ideas, their policies, and what they want to do in order to improve our school. Finally, thank you to all of you who are watching, whether it's here or on YouTube. A couple reminders: if you missed yesterday's debate, that is uploaded onto YouTube. Our YouTube account, STI Board of Elections. If you can't find that, there's a link on our Facebook post from yesterday's debate. This debate will also be uploaded onto YouTube in probably about an hour or so. So if you want to rewatch any part of that, you can go there to watch. As one of the campaigns mentioned before, we have compiled a master list of all the campaigns, their policies, their websites, their platforms, just so it's easier for you all to get an understanding of what each campaign stands for, especially with this bigger number of campaigns than we usually have. As a final reminder, Election Day will be next Monday. November 16th. It'll run from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you're a freshman, you will be getting more information about how to vote, where to vote in the next coming days. So don't worry about that. You will find an email about that in your inbox very soon. So with that, that will be the end of today's debate. Once again, thank you all so much for coming, and have a good day off tomorrow. So bye, thank you.